All right, ladies and gentlemen, these notes in front of me are probably the most valuable notes I will probably share on this YouTube channel to date. It is how to sell to rich people. Now, over the course of the past year and a half of me running my marketing agency, I've sold to software companies that are earning $50 million a year in annual recurring revenue, 100 and even up to $250 million a year in revenue. I probably have to share some screenshots or like a company logo or something. I gotta be careful because there's some confidentiality and NDA stuff that I signed. So I'll see what I can do, but I definitely gotta show you guys some proof on the screen. But I have 13 bulleted points as to how exactly you can, as an agency owner or an online business owner, sell to rich people in rich and wealthy companies. Let's hop straight into it. This is the most valuable shit here that I have for y'all. So first thing is rich/wealthy people and companies care about one thing: cash flow, cash flow, cash flow. The more returns you can give them as an agency or as a business or whatever you sell, mainly people who watch these videos are B2B lead gen agency owners. So you run a agency of some kind that provides other businesses leads or booked calls or whatever. They care about returns. They care about a clear ROI. And when you sell to them, it's not so much of an emotional sell, but it's more of a cash flow sell. How can your service, positioned as whatever it is, bring that business or company more cash flow? That is all these people care about, and that is literally how you're going to sell them initially up front. Number two is saving them time and buying back their time. Wealthy people understand that they don't need to be in the trenches of their business 24/7 because they understand how to make money work for them. You don't see extremely wealthy people spending time on monotonous tasks that they're not worth, okay? Rich people care about high leverage tasks. They think in terms of scale. They think in terms of in the grand scheme of things, how is this going to affect me? And they think in terms of how is this going to be utilized with my time? So henceforth, if you have some sort of a done for you service or a service where it's positioned as, hey, look, you're gonna sit back, relax, buy back your time. We're gonna pull down the levers and do the manual work for you while you sit back and drink a pina colada on a freaking beach. That's exactly how you're going to get through to their heads, okay? In other words, think of it as they're like a balloon, right? They're a balloon. Balloons are expansive. They want to, naturally go up because of the helium. They just attract up, obviously, because that's how it works, right? They don't want to be held down. So it's your job to be like, here, let me bring the balloon outside and then just let it go. So your time, we're buying back your time. You can go do whatever. We don't want to bring you down, okay? Balloons want to naturally fucking expand, okay? A little bit of a weird example, but you understand what I'm saying. So number one was obviously showing them we're gonna make you more money. They care about cash flow. They care about ROI. They care about how is this going to yield me more money in my bottom line statement. And of course, number two, buying back your time, okay? Number three is status. Now let's be real here. Every single person is driven by status of some kind. It might not be to the level of others. Some people care about more flashy things than other humans on this earth, but every single human has some sort of a status sweet spot in their life and their business and in their journey. And if you can hit that for a very wealthy person or a very wealthy company, that's going to make the world's difference. So let me give you guys a little bit of a example here. Status and quality are points 3 and 4, and they kind of collide and coincide together within each other. So a good quality product is like Apple, okay? Apple is top of the line echelon in terms of mobile devices. Everybody obviously would want an Apple iPhone, an Apple laptop. Everybody sees Android as like broke, things like that. If you're watching this on Android, no hate to you at all. This is just to illustrate the purposes of the market. Everybody understands that Apple delivers great products 24/7, and they're the upper echelon of technology in terms of mobile devices, in terms of MacBooks and things like that. And so the attention to detail that Apple brings is amazing. You walk into the Apple store, it feels like it's a luxury experience. You're met with a personalized Apple helper, and they help you pick out your screen and your color, and they make it all fancy. They bring it out to you. They help put on a screen protector. It's like the entire the service is treated. You feel echelon. You feel like you're at a luxury hotel and you're being served. That's the experience that wealthy and rich people want to feel on a daily basis with your products and services. And so when you're selling to these companies, even if, I remember we were selling to a software company, and I was talking to the COO and head of growth. And these were people who, mind you, they just got into the software business and obviously put in capital, and they scaled it up over the course of 5 or 10 years to about $250 million in annual recurring revenue. Okay, I'm not gonna say the company name, but they're based out of New York. And the co-founder actually owned a jet business before this, which he obviously exited, and he worked on that for like 20 years. And he exited for an amazing amount of money, which is great. And I'm talking to him, and it just kind of seems like his head's in a different place. And I didn't understand until I hopped off the call with him, until he really wanted to feel special. He wanted to feel like this was a premium service. Obviously, I'm just providing them booked demos and scaling up their Facebook ads. And so mind you, this entire time on the call, he was sort of talking to me in a way where I was trying to understand what he was saying. And I was understanding what he was saying, but it just seemed like I was missing something. I was presenting to him what was going on, the KPIs. I was following everything that I preach about. But he just seemed like he was like, okay, yeah, makes sense. Okay, cool. I'm like, what am I missing? I want to get this guy jazzed. If I sell to you as a software company, I want to get you emotionally involved with what we're doing. And so it wasn't until I hopped out the phone until I realized, wow, this guy just wanted to be treated like royalty. He wanted to be shown that this is a quality of premium service and that his company is going to directly benefit from this. Why don't I tweak it? And so on the next call, I made our services a little bit more sophisticated, just the way I presented them, the way my energy and things like that, and the way we kind of treat you and things like that. And then his energy shifted. He was more excited about it. And that's points 4 and 5. Quality of the product, quality of the service, and attention to detail are those 2 points combined, okay? So you want to position your service as a premium, okay? You might be even selling to a local Legion business or whatever. Even if you don't plan on scaling up market and selling to rich people or selling to rich companies, you still have to treat the customer as if they're going through this amazing experience that can be copy and pasted 1,000 different times, because let's be honest, anyone who walks in the Apple store is gonna be treated with respect. You walk into a Louis Vuitton store or a Gucci store, you're greeted with a team member, a sales representative, or whatever. You're led to whichever section you're interested in. They talk to you throughout the time. It's a expensive, it just feels like a, glamorous voyage, if you will, like shit like that. So you want to make your prospect feel like that, especially if they are wealthy, if they're rich, and they have the ability to pull the strings, okay? Now, number 6 is health. Live longer. Rich people, wealthy people care about living longer. They care about longevity. They care about supplements. They care about things that are going to make them feel like, make them look better, make them feel healthier, make them feel younger. Okay, we're talking about wealthy people that are probably, in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. These are people that have already made the money. They know how to escape the matrix, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. They already have done this stuff. They've done it 1,000,001 different times, probably for themselves and other people. Their family's out of debt. Their family's totally taken care of. They're totally taken care of. They don't wake up like panics like us sometimes, like you and me, where they're consistently worried about losing everything and going under and shit like that and hitting their monthly goals. Of course, they have those worries as well, but they're not as dominant as they are with us, I would probably say. After talking to a bunch of these wealthy people, money is so much, oh yeah, it easily comes to me. I know how to make $1 million in a month. I can do that. Cool, whatever. It's not that hard. Like, that's just like, whatever, we'll cover that. Like, that's their mindset towards money, okay? And so they care a lot about health, supplements. What's going to help me live longer? What's going to essentially bring me the most peace while I'm here living so I don't suffer? They also invest in things like very expensive mattresses, sleep investments, okay? This is extremely important because guess what? If you're making $1 million a month, but you're sleeping on the floor, who gives a shit? You know what I mean? You want the upper echelon. Again, this goes back to points 4 and 5. You want the upper echelon of materials to sleep with, to be with, to live with, to eat with. You want to eat the most expensive food. You want to go out every single night. You want to be treated. You want to treat your body well. You want to go to the sauna. You want to have this expensive mattress that, tracks your quality of sleep and is able to actually, see where you're going wrong and how to sleep and how to enter REM state quicker and how to stay there longer. And these are the types of investment that rich people care about: sleep, health, and wellness, okay? Number 8 is assets/investments. So most of the offers in the marketplace, some of the offers are offers where it's a business opportunity called BizOp offers, okay? So this target market selects a type of person who has a lot of cash reserves, okay? A BizOp offer would say, hey, look, we will, for $25,000 up front, we will build an entire agency done for you. We will sign your first 10 clients, make your investment back in 90 days, or you get your entire investment back. So biz op offer is like it's a business opportunity. So it's, hey, look, we have all the infrastructure completely done for you. You just give us a boatload of cash and we'll build a business for you and we'll scale it. And then you keep this amount, we keep this amount, we get a testimonial, things like that. I have a lot of friends who run very successful biz op offers. It absolutely prints people doing $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 a month with it, right? So these are advancements to make money. Point number 8 is assets and investments. Rich people look at where they're putting their money, no matter the amount, whether it's $25,000, $50,000, $100,000. It doesn't really matter too much to them, depending on where they're at in their wealth journey. But they just care about, is this going to be an asset? They ask themselves these questions. How quickly is this return going to happen? How long is this asset going to appreciate? Does this asset depreciate over a certain amount of time? Most people that buy Rolexes, believe it or not, are not young, flashy dudes who just moved to Miami. They're actually middle-aged guys or girls, people who have already been into their wealth, and they see Rolexes as an investment, whether to sell or whether to just keep as a collection, but they see it as an asset. They see it as an investment because Rolex, obviously predominantly over the course of their existence, has held a great market value and has continued to appreciate. And so it's only in their best interest to hold on to those things and to actually be able to keep them and build a collection. And that's how they see it. They see it as an asset, as an advancement. This is going to make me money down the line, or this could possibly make me money, or I just like collecting them. So look at it like that. When you're selling to these upper echelon people, obviously you wealthy people and rich people, you have to look at it as the same way they look at it. This is an asset. Even your marketing infrastructure or your paid ads, if you're just freaking running cold email for the company, it doesn't matter. You have to sell them as the asset. Like, this is going to generate to X amount over this term of time. Okay, I think I've rubbed in point 8 pretty hard. Number 9 is ideal family, vacation, and education. Rich people really care about setting themselves up just as much as they care about setting their family up for success. And I've seen this firsthand. I've stayed over at wealthy and rich people's houses. I have ate tons of dinner with these people. Like, they care about their family a lot. These people are not selfish. Rich people, some people think rich people and very wealthy people are just these stuck up people that just throw homeless people on the ground and drive Rolls Royces and just say fuck you to everybody else. And it's not the case, okay? The case is most of these people are very generous. Some of the most giving back people who I've ever met. There's some people who literally go to places in South Texas that just got hit by hurricanes in 2016 and 2017. Like, remember, one of my very wealthy friends, she actually she was on Shark Tank, and she went down to, I believe it was Port Aransas after Hurricane Harvey in 2017. It was just handing out $100 bills to people, talking to them, trying to build up spirits. So these are people that know they have money, right? But they care about other people as well. And that's a beautiful trait to have, okay? So ideal family, they care about nice vacations. They care about setting their family members up for success and doing what they can and things like that, okay? So that's number 10. And so if you can sort of twist your pitch in a way to say, hey, look, this could possibly help you, with X, Y, Z, or something with your family, or reduce your taxes or things like that. That is a great point as well. Now, obviously, a lot of you guys are agency owners and B2B agency owners. I haven't even said anything in terms of the program down below, but there's a first link. You can book in a custom client acquisition call with me if you're an agency owner and you want to scale at $20,000 a month in 90 days. The reason I'm saying that right now is because the fastest way to do that is by targeting these wealthy people, these wealthy customers. If you can sign 1 or 2 of them, you'll already be at $10,000, $20,000 a month in recurring revenue. So with that being said, if you want the exact systems and processes about how exactly I do that, as well as a custom strategy call, first link right down below. Now, number 10 is tax reduction, okay? So real estate, things like that, that's what they really care about. A lot of you guys will not have offers in the real estate space, so I'll briefly go over this point because it's not that important. But real estate and paying less taxes is what rich people care about. They're constantly looking for ways to reduce their income, ways to, have more taxable income. They're always looking for ways to not necessarily have loopholes in the system, but to work the system for what it's built for, okay? And so that also comes into play with real estate, tax reduction. They're always looking for different ways to possibly reduce their annual income on paper and, obviously save on that sense and just be smarter with their investments and turn real estate into an asset and things like that. That's number 10. Now, there's only 13 points. So we have 2 more points, and these last 2 are probably the most important, so I need you to stick around, okay? Wealth retention. And wealth strategy is number 11. Now, wealth retention is key to success, because what does it mean if you can make money for 9 years, 9 months to 9 years, and you just lose it all? If I told you, look, I'm going to give you $10 million, right now, hypothetically, and you live an amazing life. But I said you make $10 million for the next 10 years, and guess what? After 10 years, you're going to go completely broke, and you're never going to make any money like that again. What would that mean to you? Would you even want those $10 million for the next 10 years? You'd probably gladly accept those $10 million, but guess what? Every single day for the next 10 years, you'd be scared because you're going to lose it. You'd live in fear, and you'd just be upset all the time, knowing, oh my God, this is just going to be going away in 10 years. So with that being said, preserving wealth and having a wealth strategy is key to these rich people, okay? And so when you're selling to these rich people, it's extremely important that you cater your pitch, like I said in point 9, to preserving their wealth. Hey, look, this marketing strategy that we're doing, guess what? It's going to give you X amount of leads and X amount of this stuff. But guess what? This system is going to continuously be refined. We're going to build this as an infrastructure. And hey, guess what, Tom? 9 months down the line, once when this infrastructure is fully built out, we're just going to train your team up on it. It's going to be fully optimized. We're going to train your team on how to implement it, how to build it when bottlenecks occur, which is inevitable, and how to scale it. And so this infrastructure that we're building, yeah, although it's, a couple 5 figures up front, long-term vision, Tom, this is what's going to happen. Give it to your team, and you continue to use it as an asset. So notice how I kind of spoke to you guys that way. I told you, look, this is going to be an infrastructure. We're going to build it, then eventually give it to your team, show them exactly how we've been optimizing it, and then eventually they can use it from there. Notice how I'm kind of positioning as this is a long-term investment. It's going to be an asset that continues to work even after we're gone as an agency. That's the best way to pitch agencies or services. Provide it as an infrastructure and say, hey, look, eventually we will pitch your team on it, who's already in on it because it works, and we'll just give it to your team. You can use it. It's going to be an asset. It's going to be in your toolbox. Does that sound good? Yeah. Number 12 is number 12 and 13 are very different points, from 1 through 10. Art and creative design. For some reason, after analyzing a lot of rich people, speaking with them on the phone, selling to very wealthy software companies, I have learned that art is very much valued by these people. I think I won't truly understand it until I get to that point in my life. But it does make sense. I can appreciate art, obviously. I just really don't give a crap. I just don't care. I just don't really care about art and creativeness in that sense. And people, rich people, if you've ever been in wealthy and rich people's homes, they love just the expressive art hung up in these, big posters and these big paintings and these handcrafted pottery things. And it's beautiful to look at, but I personally don't care about it. And it's probably just because they don't have $25,000 to go drop on a pottery that was made somewhere else in Italy. It's probably the case, but I just don't enjoy it right now. It's just not what I value right now. And it's just because I'm not at that stage. But I'm sharing this insight with you guys because when you pitch to these wealthy and rich people, you kind of understand a little bit more what's going on inside of their brain, okay? Because you can't sell to somebody if you don't understand them at all. That leads me into the last point, guys. Toys, fun, jet skis, anything with propellers, helicopters, remote control planes, big remote control model trains, things like that. Rich people really care about having fun, obviously, just like everybody else, but they have a lot more money than the majority of people, especially very wealthy people in the top, 4 or 5% of, income levels across the United States and in the world. They just want to spend it on expensive shit, because their way of seeing it is look, I can just take the jet ski out, or I could just get in a plane, or I can get my pilot's license real quick and learn how to fly. It's kind of their way of thinking. Well, why don't I just learn how to fly a helicopter? Or well, I can just buy this $25,000, 316 RC plane, remote control plane, and I can just buy it and I can fly it around the weekends. That's kind of their thought process. Well, I don't really care how much it is, but it's freaking cool. Let's get it, So they care about that. And of course, all of these points, making money, showing them cash flow, saving them time, and buying back their time as well, not bringing them down, increasing their status, showing them that your product or service is quality, not just sold to the masses and you don't care about them, attention to detail, wrapping in health to the pitch as well. All of these things you can wrap back into your pitch, and you can sort of reveal to them that you sort of understand exactly what you're talking about, okay? And so when you do this, you'll be able to sell to an infinite amount of rich people no matter where they're at. And I promise you this is going to be the most valuable advice you guys have heard. So combine all their desires, you're going to enhance this irresistibility. Customer service is held high and everything like that. So with that being said, I hope this video helped. I've been able to sell a lot to rich companies, wealthy people as a whole, network, go out to dinner, meet, talk on the phone, talk in person, you name it. I have pretty much done it so far. My agency, whether I'm flying out to Seattle to go see a software company or New York or Florida, doesn't matter too much. The thing here is that those are the exact tips and tricks that I would use in your next sales pitch when you target these rich companies, rich people. If you want to know exactly how I specifically sell to rich companies and how I get in front of these rich companies and how I get in front of these rich people, it's not by going to networking events. It's not by, shaking hands with people or knocking on doors. I use LinkedIn Sales Navigator. I've just been doing it for a while, and of course, word of mouth. But I teach LinkedIn Sales Navigator to any agency owner or B2B lead gen agency owner that is looking to scale to $20,000 a month ASAP in 90 days. If you want that guarantee, if you want to sell to a rich company and get a fat retainer for your agency, click that first link right down below. We'll come up with a strategy on how exactly you can do that. And you just copy my steps and you can replicate them in your business. Obviously, that's the end of the video, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.